You brought your meal prep to work and suddenly everybody has something to say about it. Then you ordered water at dinner and somebody at the table made it weird. And when you said no to the birthday cake, the whole room looked at you like you just insulted someone's grandmother. Here's why people get triggered when you eat healthy, because it has very little to do with what's actually on your plate. Seeing someone else make consistent healthy choices can be deeply uncomfortable for people who haven't made those choices themselves. And that discomfort doesn't always come out as admiration. Sometimes it comes out as sarcasm, unsolicited opinions, and pressure to abandon the very habits that are working for you. The reason is simple. Your discipline is a mirror, and some people don't like what they see in it. When you meal prep, drink your water, prioritize your protein, cook at home, and read the nutrition label before you put food in your mouth, you're not doing any of that to make a statement. But somebody is always going to take it personally because your consistency reminds them of their own excuses. And instead of sitting with that, a lot of people redirect it outward at you. I've been on the receiving end of this, so let me tell you what that looked like. And if you're enjoying the content, subscribe because I post every week. When I was in the Navy, I decided to go fully plant-based and started bringing my meals to work. The moment I started heating my food up in the break room, the first question was always, where's the meat? And when I told them I was eating plant-based, it became a whole thing. Groups of people gathering around like they'd never seen anything like it, which was funny because we were in the military where staying in shape is part of the job. After a while, the constant commentary started to get old. The irony, though, was that the people who always say vegans are trying to push their lifestyle on everyone, that was the opposite of my experience. It was the meat eaters who had a personal investment in whether or not I ate a burger. And that level of investment in somebody else's plate only comes from one place: guilt. They were looking at me and feeling some type of way about their own choices, and making it my problem was easier than sitting with that. Even when you haven't said a single word about what anyone else is eating, some people will decide that your choices are a commentary on theirs. They think you think you're better than them, that you're trying to show off, that you're being extreme, that you're no fun. None of that is about you. All of it is about how your consistency is making them feel about their own inconsistency. People talk about getting healthy all the time. Seeing somebody do it is a different kind of uncomfortable. And then there's the people who have something to say when you don't finish everything on your plate. You pack up your leftovers and suddenly somebody's looking at you sideways like you just committed a crime. Dang, you barely ate. Like, okay, so what? You didn't pay for it and you didn't prepare it. And it's not your food. Like, get out of my plate. It doesn't have anything to do with you. And what's wild is that people will monitor and police what you eat and how much of it you eat, like they're keeping score. That's odd behavior. It's odd to track another person's food intake and have feelings about how much somebody else puts on their plate. Now, if I were to say something about somebody gobbling down a triple-decker cheeseburger smothered in condiments, I'd be called fat-phobic or accused of fat shaming. So apparently there's a double standard. Critiquing somebody for eating unhealthy is off limits, but critiquing somebody for eating healthy is completely fine. That doesn't make any sense. And as a nutritionist, I have a lot I could say about what people eat, but I generally keep it to myself. I save it for commentary and videos like this one because I'd rather put it somewhere useful than make somebody feel bad at the dinner table. Food is also not just food for a lot of people. For many people, food is tied to family traditions, celebrations, stress relief, memories, and comfort in hard moments. So when somebody feels like their food choices are being challenged, even indirectly and even silently, it can feel like their culture, their comfort, or their identity is being questioned. That emotional charge is why the conversation around healthy eating can escalate so fast. The comments you'll hear when you're eating differently than the people around you follow a pretty predictable pattern. You only live once, everything in moderation. That looks boring. I could never eat like that. One day won't hurt. Relax, live a little. And what's interesting about all of those comments is that none of them are really about you. They're all about the person saying them, who's trying to protect their own comfort with their own choices. If your salad didn't bother them, they wouldn't mention it, but it does bother them. There's also a specific assumption people make about healthy eating that fuels a lot of this, which is the idea that eating well means being miserable, that you never enjoy food, never eat dessert, avoid every social event, and follow some rigid set of rules that makes you exhausting to be around. In reality, most people who eat well have built flexible routines that work for their actual life. They're not white knuckling their way through every meal. They've just figured out what makes them feel good, and they do that consistently. But the miserable restriction narrative is easier for some people to believe because it makes their own choices feel less like a failure and more like a preference. Social pressure to abandon your healthy habits is relentless, and it usually comes from the people closest to you. It's pressure to conform and to make other people more comfortable with their own choices by abandoning yours. And your commitment to your health in a group setting can feel like an implicit critique of everyone else's lack of commitment, even when you've never said a word about it. Your habits aren't an attack on anyone. Your meal prep isn't a judgment, and your water bottle isn't a statement about what anybody else is doing. What you eat is yours to decide, and the fact that your choices make someone else uncomfortable tells you more about their relationship with food than it does about you. If you're new here, I'm Nisi York. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok as Nutrition Nisi. My channel covers beauty, nutrition, and lifestyle. Drop a comment and tell me, have you ever felt judged or pressured for eating healthy? I want to hear it, and if this resonated with you, share it, like it, and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Take care.